This is Dapu7 with yet another update here to this mystery interstellar object known as 3I Atlas. Now here recently, there's been a lot of news surrounding this, where this thing is said to be giving off its own light. It's supposed to be massive in size, and it's curious that it's giving off a certain amount of metals and not others. I talked about in the last video the thin layer of carbon that is protecting the nucleus with very little water going around the coma, a massive coma, half the size of the sun. Now, they're saying that an unusual nickel plume is coming from the object. Unlike natural comets, which always emit nickel alongside of iron, Atlas shows that it's just kicking out all of this nickel, which is very different than what they have observed in normal comets. As I said before, with the high carbon count, they also see carbon monoxide mixed in and water, as we see with all these comets that have come through in the past. That helps generate the halo around it. Also, as it gets closer to the sun, the water can start to burst out, vent out, and it can make the comet brighter. This comet, if you will be hiding behind the sun when it comes through at close approach. Now, the path that it's taking really makes it stand out because it's going to zip by 3 planets, which the odds of it coming within 1 AU of all 3 are like off the charts. Mars, Venus, Jupiter, all going to get skimmed by this thing. If you were on one of those planets, it would literally be going right in front of your face, right by. This is going to be a very wild event as this gets closer to see what it looks like in detail. Will we be able to see any detail through all the dust and the fuzziness? It should have already given off a tail, is what they're saying. With all these particles and everything that they're picking up coming off of it, there should definitely be particles pushed to the backside, defining a tail. So, this newest information talking about a technological origin, that you don't see the nickel being kicked out like this. You see it in a process where basically like how we have industrial production of nickel alloys on Earth. That's the amount that they're seeing, which, again, it goes towards something technological. And just keeping track of it. So, this is the latest. Join me for the live stream.
It's been one of the deadliest ever August months for Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh due to the weather fury across the region. As many as about 25 cloudbursts and 9 landslides incidents have resulted in deaths of at least 122 people, resulting in injuries to 300 others.
At least 11 are dead in 2 cloudburst incidents in Jammu and Kashmir on August 30th alone. The first cloudburst incident took place in Ramban area of Jammu division. The second cloudburst incident occurred at Riyasi. It's one of a series of tragedies ripping into families and communities, leaving behind a trail of destruction and death.
This year, we have forecasted abnormal precipitation, especially for northwestern Himalayan region. Having said that, in monthly briefings also, we had ensured that there will be abnormal precipitation, especially in the month of July as well as in August. So, coming to August, we have seen multiple incidents of cloudbursts, flash floods, and landslides, and more than 5-6 events of extremely heavy rainfall events. Till now, it has been reported from multiple sources that almost more than 10 incidents of cloudburst have been reported from Jammu and Kashmir, and more than 18 to 20 cases of flash floods and cloudburst, both minor and few major, are reported from Ladakh region. From Ladakh region, there were no reports of any deaths till now, apart from minor damage to agriculture and horticulture crops and some damage to properties. But here, in contrary to Ladakh, in Jammu and Kashmir, we have seen more deaths, especially more than 100, due to multi-hazards like cloudburst, flash floods, landslides, even drowning incidents.
Take a look at this deadly list all in August. Kishtwar on August 14, Kutwa on August 17, Dora August 26, Riyasi August 27, Sonmarg August 28, and Rajgarh on the 30th of August. These disasters have wreaked havoc on infrastructure, disrupted pilgrimages like the Vaishno Devi and Mata Machel Yatra, and crippled local economies reliant on tourism. Rural areas have also reported significant losses of livestock and agricultural fields. Major highways including the Jammu-Srinagar, Katra-Shivkhori and Srinagar-Ladakh routes have faced disruptions, compounding the regional challenges. Experts give a scientific reason for a surge in cloudburst and rain havoc in the region.
There are multiple reasons for cloudburst. First one is when you have active monsoon. Active monsoon, we mean strengthening of easterlies which are moist and warm, and that that blows towards Himalayan region. And secondly, whenever there is interaction of monsoon and western disturbance, at that time also we are experiencing copious amount of precipitation. And recent event of 25th, 26th August over Jammu region was because of interaction of western disturbance and southwest monsoon. So these are two important weather-wise synoptic situations. Apart from this, orography also plays an important role because it helps in rapid cooling, condensation, and then again the intensity of rain, and this all depends upon height and orography also. And then next, in the context of climate change, this temperature and rising temperature trends are acting as a trigger for this cloudburst event.
The Met Office has forecast heavy rain for the week ahead in Jammu, Riyasi, Udhampur and the Chenab Valley. It says people have to be on extremely high alert at least till the 3rd of September.
Jammu and Kashmir has witnessed one of the worst monsoon seasons this year, with over 122 deaths and around 300 people injured in the incidents of cloudburst, flash floods, mudslides and landslides. The Met Department says it's not over yet. Next 2 weeks are very crucial for the people of Jammu and Kashmir, especially the ones who are living in the higher reaches. The Met has predicted that for the next 24 hours, there are going to be more intense showers and incidents of cloudburst, especially in the Jammu division. With video journalist Firoz Idris Sloan for WION.
Two brothers filming a protest over the war in Gaza outside an Egyptian diplomatic building in Manhattan on August 20th have been arrested and charged with felony assault and strangulation. However, according to video footage by an Egyptian activist and acquired by the Associated Press, Egyptian government personnel dragged the two off the street and into the building. Yazan al-Samak is 22 years old and says inside the building, the Egyptian officials threw them to the ground, beat and whipped them with a metal chain.
And once we were inside the mission, they continued to beat me with the metal chain. I have bruises all over my body. And then they took my kufaya, which is a Palestinian scarf that I was wearing. They tied it around my neck and pulled it extremely hard to the point where I was being suffocated. In those seconds, I felt like I was going to die.
New York City police arrested al-Samak and his 15-year-old brother, accusing them of assault and strangulation. However, the evidence from eyewitnesses and video footage seems to contradict the version of events told to the police by Egyptian officials.
I expect the very least is, when the NYPD, who are supposedly supposed to be there to protect U.S. citizens, come and they actually arrest me and let those who oppress me and infringe upon my rights, they let them walk free. So I felt very disappointed at that moment.
When Al Samak's lawyer tried to press charges against the Egyptian officials who allegedly attacked him, the police refused to take the case, saying it was outside their jurisdiction, the Associated Press reports. According to international law, diplomatic officials are legally protected and have diplomatic immunity, which shields them from being arrested or prosecuted for many crimes where they're stationed. An Egyptian official told the police, as stated in the official criminal complaint, that Al Samak hit him with a metal chain, and this caused the official's hands to swell and hurt, the AP reports. Al Samak denies the allegation. Al Samak's attorney told the AP that the NYPD and District Attorney's Office has seen the footage, but has refused to dismiss the case against her client. Now, this altercation happened while many people around the world are protesting at Egyptian embassies and consulates, urging Egypt to help Gaza by opening the Rafah border. Egypt says it's not blocking aid to Gazans and are critical of the protest, citing property damage.
A stark warning from the International Red Cross and Red Crescent movement indicates that the number of people registered as missing globally has surged by nearly 70% over the last 5 years. The report from Geneva states the figure has risen to approximately 284,000. The increase is blamed on escalating conflicts, mass migration, and a concerning decline in adherence to the rules of war. The movement emphasizes that it is the primary duty of states and the conflict parties to prevent the disappearance by safeguarding civilians and clarifying the fate of the missing. Despite the grim figures, there are stories of hope. In 2024, the Global Family Links network successfully found over 16,000 individuals and reunited more than 7,000 families. The Red Cross notes that when international humanitarian law is followed, such as the rules on detainee communication and handling of the deceased, the likelihood of people going missing is significantly reduced. For now, 250,000 families still await answers.
Immigration advocates say airlines are making it harder to track U.S. deportation flights, saying dummy call signs and blocked tail numbers are keeping the public from seeing where these planes are going. The report comes as the number of deportation flights reaches record highs under President Trump. Immigration advocacy groups told the Associated Press they previously followed deportation flights on public tracking websites, but now many show up as not available, forcing volunteers to rely on airport cameras, open source data, and information sharing to keep track. Tom Cartwright, who has tracked ICE flights since 2020, recorded more than 1,200 deportation flights in July alone, a record month. Most are operated by 3 airlines: Global X, Eastern Air Express, and Avelo Airlines. Since the start of Trump's second term, Cartwright reported 5,962 flights, a 41% increase from the same period last year. These flights either take immigrants to other U.S. airports or directly to Central America, Mexico, or in a few cases, Guantanamo Bay. That's according to Cartwright's tracking. To help with the workload, Cartwright's group partnered with Human Rights First, which is now running the ICE Flight Monitor project. Seattle's Boeing Field Airport is one of the few places the public can see these flights. County cameras and live streams allow volunteers to count passengers and monitor the operations. Local groups say they've tracked more than 60 flights in Washington this year, moving thousands of immigrants to border states or out of the country. While these advocacy groups say the planes are becoming harder to follow and track, raising transparency concerns, airlines are legally permitted to limit flight data available for the public, according to the FAA.
Director Todd Lyons deals with this every day. He's got to have his men and women go out there, and yet half of America is trying to vilify their efforts. How are you dealing with this, Todd? How do you deal with it on a daily basis?
I think the best thing, Brian, is the fact that the men and women of ICE are dedicated to the law enforcement mission. They're not going to be sidetracked, especially by these crazy radical leftists. And, these people on the other side of the aisle, Democrats that are calling for violence against ICE agents and their family. They're proud of the law enforcement mission they do. We have the best leader under Secretary Noem. She's out there leading from the front. She's taking the handcuffs off of us. We have the best president. President Trump's making sure that with the big, beautiful bill, we have all the resources and the manpower. We're going to keep America safe, and ICE is going to do their mission.
So what are the numbers? For me personally, I couldn't care less how many you get. I just want the worst of the worst out. How far along are you on the goals that you set out when you took the job?
We are so far along, Brian. If you look at any of the ones we have arrested now, more than 70% of the people that we have arrested are either convicted criminals or have pending heinous criminal charges, right? So we're taking them out of the neighborhood so they can't reoffend again. And the best thing is, under the last administration, there were so many unvetted people that came in, but we're now finding them. You know, people say that ICE is out there arresting folks that we're not giving their due process, so they're not a criminal. Well, they're a criminal in their home countries who knew they can come in through our porous borders. Now we are getting these foreign criminals out.
What's your biggest worry?
I tell you, Brian, one thing that keeps me up at night is all these threats and violence against our officers. You know, 1,000% since last year. Just on the ride over here to the studio, I was dealing with an officer that I followed home. He was assaulted. Every day, ICE agents are being assaulted. But what is really the thing the American people need to know is these men and women are so brave. They go out there, they put their vest, put their badge on, and they go out there and they keep America safe. My biggest fear is, one of us is going to get hurt really bad.
Meanwhile, talk about courage. There's 10,000 openings and yet 100,000 applications. So people are willing to do the job. Thanks so much, Todd Lyons. Appreciate what you do.